City volunteers in the Philippines hand out consolation cash to typhoon survivors. We meet Malcolm Vargas, an English teacher from New York who is passionate about Hakka culture. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. First up in the Philippines, in the aftermath of Typhoon Haiyan, city volunteers and doctors traveled from Manila to Omagh City to conduct disaster assessment and free clinics. On November 12th, the team organized a free clinic in northern Cebu and distributed consolation cash to 295 families.
Cebu city volunteers in the Philippines travel by car to the hard-hit areas. Along the way, they see toppled trees everywhere and many trucks blown over by the storm. Disaster survivors sit quietly inside a thatched house. When cars drive by, one can see people with signs asking for help. Inside this gymnasium, left with a damaged roof and broken windows, a typhoon survivor says that when the storm hit, it wasn't rainwater that came down, but pieces of shattered glass. Even the local government building couldn't withstand the strong winds. To help, 12 city volunteers gather as a team to conduct a free clinic without access to clean water and electricity. For many typhoon survivors, to be able to receive medication during this difficult time is a miracle, as many fear that the poor hygiene conditions may lead to an outbreak of disease. City volunteers also hand out consolation cash of 2,000 pesos, which is equivalent to about $46 to the disaster survivors. This marks the first aid distribution held in the area in the aftermath of Typhoon Haiyan. The volunteers also seized the opportunity to inspire the survivors to contribute their love. Although suffering from the tragedy, many still donate their love to help others. The volunteers and typhoon survivors also prayed together for peace and safety. On November 12th, a Cebu city volunteer was interviewed by the international media.
It seems they are so devastated. So we are here to extend our help to them.
With Philippines city volunteers on the front line and support from their fellow compatriots in Taiwan, despite the long road to recovery, global city volunteers promise to accompany these typhoon survivors with love in the days and weeks to come.
Also doing their part to help typhoon survivors in the Philippines are city volunteers in Malaysia who have not only donated their love but are also taking to the street to canvass for donations from the general public.
Moving from booth to booth, today Kuala Lumpur and Selangor city volunteers are canvassing donations in the traditional market to help those affected by Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines. Seeing the devastation brought by Typhoon Haiyan, city volunteers put their jobs aside to canvass for donations as they hope to contribute their share to help the survivors.
There are many people from different races purchasing groceries at this traditional market. The recent typhoon has devastated the Philippines. That's why we are here today to canvass for donations. We really hope to have a disaster-free world.
In the meantime, 5 city volunteers from the Tsuji Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter arrived at the airport, ready to fly to Cebu province to conduct disaster assessments with their counterparts from Taiwan and the Philippines.
This is a chance for our volunteers to experience what it is like to conduct disaster assessments and learn from each other. We heard that it is an island, so we are not really sure how we will get to it.
Meanwhile, at the Tsuji Malacca chapter, staff members are also contributing their share to help those devastated by Typhoon Haiyan.
Through canvassing donations, we want to inspire members of the public to donate their love. We also hope our staff members can follow suit.
Upon receiving the news, city volunteers mobilized to print posters, make donation boxes, and spread the news to members of the public.
Everyone needs to do good deeds. we hope to use this chance to let everyone know that natural disasters can be devastating.
We can pray for the typhoon survivors. I hope all of them can regain the strength to move on.
To help, since November 12th, volunteers from the Tzu Chi Malacca chapter have been canvassing for donations and plan to do so for a week.
他跟我们无亲无故，为什么我们要帮助他？
地球村嘛，大家都是一家人。
50 ringgits is not much, but it can do many things. If I use the money to purchase a DVD, only I can enjoy it. However, if I donate the money to Tzu Chi, I can even help more people, so why not?
In the aftermath of the tragedy, other than Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers from Taiwan, Singapore, Indonesia, Hong Kong, and even those in St. Martin were mobilized to contribute their share to help those affected by the typhoon.
Over the years, Vietnam Tzu Chi volunteers have regularly held free clinics in Ho Chi Minh City to help needy patients. However, as healthcare resources in urban areas continue to improve, volunteers have gradually transferred their medical resources to patients in more remote areas. Recently, in Binh Phu province, Tzu Chi volunteers organized a free clinic offering a variety of medical services to help 763 patients.
At 11 p.m., Tzu Chi volunteers are busy loading equipment and medicine onto a bus for their upcoming free clinic. Departing from Ho Chi Minh City, 4 hours later, the volunteers arrived in Binh Phu province, which is located on the border with Cambodia. Following their arrival, volunteers immediately start to set up the clinic site. Here in Binh Phu province, most of the locals are Stan, an ethnic group of Vietnam and Cambodia. Living in a remote area with an indigenous lifestyle, most of them have never had a chance to receive medical care until Tzu Chi stepped foot here.
Because this region is mostly underdeveloped, many local residents don't care for their health and rarely go to see doctors. Most of the patients suffer from heart disease and high blood pressure. I just told them to return to the hospital for regular checkups.
Though the Stan people know little Vietnamese, doctors still try their best to get their message across, hoping to help the patients find a relief to their pain and suffering.
This is my first time joining a Tzu Chi free clinic event. These residents really need outside help. Through this event, I can sense their suffering and despair. Helping them lessen their pain is something that makes me happy.
With over 100 volunteers on site helping out, the need of every patient was met. Later, volunteers handed out 500 packs of medicine and daily necessities.
The free clinic was organized very well, and the doctors and volunteers were very thoughtful. During the event, even the patients were organized. What's best is that you provide free medication and aid supplies, which are the most valuable gift for the residents here.
In total, 763 patients were served during the event. Seeing the smiles on the faces of their patients, medical staff and volunteers found their time and efforts to be all worthwhile.
Today we meet another darling Tzu Chi hospital, Dr. Ling Junhong, who made a decision to leave his medical practice a few years ago to spend more time with his family. However, even with the reduced working hours, Ling was still unhappy. Unable to let go of the responsibility that he felt he had towards his patients, Ling decided to put on his white coat once again to join the ranks of those fighting to save lives.
Using ultrasound, Dr. Ling Junhong checks his patient's breast tissue, as this will determine whether further surgery is necessary or not. Most women would rather risk their lives than interfere with their bodily integrity. For this reason, the emotional well-being needs to be looked after with more understanding.
Some patients are more anxious, so even if it takes me half an hour or an hour, I will still take the time to talk it through with them, because if you don't explain properly, they've come for nothing and then they're taking that anxiety home with them.
While in his patient's eyes, Ling was a patient and attentive doctor, one willing to spend extra time with them. However, he was not a good father at home.
真的是把太太是摆第二。
I put my wife second and my patients first. I remember when we had our first child, one night she started crying very loudly. My wife then woke me up. Upset, she said to me, "The baby is crying, can't you hear that?" I told her that I really didn't hear any crying. She then accused me of lying because I can wake up to the sound of my beeper, but I couldn't even hear the cry of my own child.
他就说我骗人，那个 BB 扣响第一声你就醒来，小朋友哭那么大声，竟然都不知道。
In order to spend more time with his family, after a long deliberation, Ling Junhong decided to leave his job at the hospital.
那医美又不像说
A medical cosmetic clinic is not like a hospital. It is more commercialized. It's not like the Tzu Chi Hospital, which emphasizes humanistic love and care for patients. So I didn't feel like it was compatible with my personality. Although I had shorter working hours and I would go home earlier every day, I was still unhappy.
Reminded of the responsibility he had to his breast cancer patients, Ling decided to return to the medical field. He put on his white coat and went back to being on call and safeguarding the lives of patients.
其实穿上这个白
When we wear this white coat, we have a responsibility. I don't feel you have to have a sense of achievement being a doctor, but a doctor's mission is to safeguard the well-being of our patients, as everyone should live with pride and lead a quality life.
然后呢，要活得有品质啊。
Putting on his white coat once again, Ling Junhong will continue to use his love to accompany patients on their journey from sickness to health.
Taiwan is a country that offers abundant cultural diversity and for that reason has attracted many foreigners to settle here over the years. Among them has been Malcolm Vargas from the United States, who discovered a passion for Hakka culture during his stay here in Taiwan. The New Yorker now lives in Kaohsiung's Meinong district, where he continues to study and promotes Hakka folk customs and beliefs.
Page 54. Fishermen. Factory workers.
Here at Kaohsiung's Meinong Junior High School, one will find an English teacher from New York.
What do you like to do?
Teaching English is just his day job. What Malcolm Vargas is really passionate about is Meinong's Hakka culture. Malcolm Vargas not only knows how to make a good cup of Hakka tea, but can also speak at length regarding the history behind such cultural traditions.
Long time ago, when the soldiers went to march, they couldn't carry a lot of food with them. They couldn't carry a lot of nutritious food, so they carried this to prepare on the road. Hi, please take one. For me, I like the whole social activity. I like the idea that people get together and have really nothing to do but stir a pot.
Having lived in Taiwan for 27 years, Vargas, who is outgoing and loves to share stories of his life, has been everywhere on the island, but finally decided to make Meinong his second home.
There's nowhere in Asia where you've had such a great cultural mix. And the strength of Taiwan is that encourage the diversity and welcome the diversity. Hakka people are welcome to integrate into the mainstream. That's very valuable.
Taiwan's largest ethnic group are those of a Hokkien background, who make up 70% of the population, with the Hakka people only taking up 12%. Malcolm Vargas, who is attracted to the rich folklore and customs of the Hakkas, has worked to become a member of the greater Meinong community.
I'm very proud to be a member of this community.
Besides his passion for Hakka culture, Vargas is also very interested in Taiwan's historical relics.
Tradition came to Taiwan with the Hakka people. It is a traditional gift during a wedding.
During his class, Vargas uses an oil paper umbrella to teach his students about Hakka culture.
Learned enough about Hakka culture that I can do an English language presentation about the history of Meinong, about Hakka culture, and walk you through the historical sites and landmarks.
Today, the English teacher is taking his students on a field trip and stops by at the famous East Gate Tower for a quick visit.
Somebody would stand on top of the tower there and watch far away for any danger. And if they saw any danger, then they would shout.
Malcolm Vargas, a New Yorker who has fallen in love with Taiwan, is determined to pass on what he knows about Hakka culture to his students so that they may one day share the beauty of their hometown with the world.
Good job. You've done your homework. Give me 5.
Moving to Hualien, Tzu University's sister school in Sweden recently sent their students on an exchange trip to Taiwan, where they attended class and after-school activities with Tzu students. Such cultural exchange programs have broadened the horizon of both students from home and abroad.
Here in Taiwan, 6 exchange students from Sweden have joined Tzu's affiliated high school's martial arts club. For the exchange students, this was an opportunity they all have been looking forward to.
They can't. It's a suicide, so they can't either do this.
During the session, Wang Tianming, a student from Tzu University, acts as a translator. Wang is a part of a team of 8 students who are the hosts of the exchange students. They take turns accompanying these new friends during their visit here in Taiwan.
We are assisting in spreading Taiwan and Tzu's humanitarianism to the outside world. Helping out with these exchange students has definitely broadened our horizons. Although I haven't left the country, coming into contact with them, I'm introduced to different ways of thinking or living.
The student exchange program has been an eye-opener for not only the foreign students, but local students as well. And though their time together is short, everyone is sure to be rewarded with wisdom and maturity far beyond their age.
In Thailand, Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok recently hosted a Buddhist-themed exhibition and competition. This year, Tzu was invited to attend, and volunteers seized the opportunity to promote recycling concepts and the spirit of Tzu's bamboo coin banks to fairgoers.
Volunteers first show how discarded PET bottles can be made into eco-friendly blankets before having their audience watch a video on recycling concepts.
As Tzu is a charity organization, I didn't know that they also involve themselves in recycling. Their message was really spot on.
Hoping to promote the Buddhist faith, Chulalongkorn University here in Bangkok put together a Buddhist-themed fair. This year, Tzu was also asked to participate, and volunteers worked to teach students good living habits.
From the story of Samsaksaya, we have learned that we should be attentive in our daily life, especially when crossing the street, and do our best to follow traffic rules. When riding on a scooter, we should wear a helmet, something which might save our lives. In order to help these students better accept Buddhism, regardless if we are talking about the exhibition or the competitions, all of it will help them learn more about Buddhism.
In addition to promoting recycling, Tzu volunteers also discussed the bamboo coin banks as a valuable tool for bringing about greater good.
I feel that the contact that these students had with Tzu left them with new experiences and new ways of thinking, and something that they would not have ordinarily encountered at school.
Following the volunteers' explanation, more than a few students and exhibition goers take home a bamboo coin bank, hoping that they too can join the relay of love.
In Indonesia, Tzu chapter recently held a 2-day seminar for over 200 Tzu, helping out at the camp where Tzu volunteers and DaAi mothers who designed a series of activities to teach independence in children, as well as the importance of recycling and charitable concepts.
Over 200 Tzu are here at the start of this 2-day camp, hosted by Tzu Indonesia chapter. The first thing they learn, how to prepare and put away their bedding. One of the goals of the camp is to teach these children how to be more independent when it comes to carrying out simple household tasks such as making their bed. Here we don't have our parents and are living together with many children our age. Although we don't do everything ourselves, this is what being independent entails.
It is not that these teenagers don't take initiative, but if we can teach them a sense of self-awareness and guide them on the road to self-learning, they can become more independent.
As part of the two-day camp, volunteers and DaAi mothers have put together a series of activities to teach both communication and cooperation skills. For Tzu Clarissa Aurelia, it is a time not to be missed, regardless of the injury to her foot.
I have been cared for by so many people during the camp. Some helped me get my dining utensils, some helped me get water to drink. Others picked up my books and pencils for me. My classmates have really treated me so well.
In addition to learning how to be more independent and work with their peers, these children also learned how to reduce carbon emissions and save the planet.
I've changed since attending this camp, especially when it comes to saving energy. Before, I would always take the elevator to get to the cafeteria in my school. Now I've started to take the stairs. Although it is more tiring, it is healthier and saves energy.
Doing recycling is one of the ways to protect our planet. In our daily lives, we should recycle our cans and bottles and reduce the pollution of our environment.
Over the 2 days, these Tzu learn how to live their lives in a way that will not only benefit themselves, but also those next to them and the planet as well.
Mommy, I love you.
In China, at the Tzu Luoshui Service Center in Sichuan Province, a poster contest was held to promote environmental ideals. As the event was not age-restricted, some 100 participants, young and old, took part and designed posters to show how easy it is to make a difference to the world we live in.
In China's Sichuan province, Tzu volunteers hold a drawing contest for participants to create images of ways to protect our planet.
This is a hand, and these two places have been sawed off, like trees. If your hand was cut off like that, wouldn't you be disabled? That's how trees feel.
Each masterpiece shows how humans have destroyed the earth, yet at the same time also transmit a message of how we can love the planet.
If we can chop down fewer trees, regulate electricity usage, and be more environmentally conscious, then we can live in a sustainable society.
University students perform a short skit to teach how everybody can do their part in keeping the planet clean. With plenty of heart, everyone can be a protector of Mother Earth.
We go back to Taiwan at the end of our show. To promote vegetarianism, the Kaohsiung DaAi Kindergarten invited students' parents to each bring a meatless dish to school to share with everyone. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.